Hey, Juliet. I'm so
Hello.
happy you're here.
Hi. Hi, Cheryl.
Hey, your story is so inspiring. So often I speak to people who say some version of I want to be pursuing my passion and living my passion, or I want to hit my goals, but I'm not exactly clear what they are. And so then it puts people in this sort of conundrum, like a catch 22. If I don't know what I exactly want, I know there's something else, but if I don't know what it is, how can I possibly fulfill it?
Mhm.
And I remember you being in a similar place. Tell us about your story.
Yeah, for the past, I would say several years, I've had jobs that I've just done and not necessarily, I've never had any passion for any of those jobs or even really enjoyed the jobs. It just made sense at that time. But I think it got to a point where I felt like I was just not growing as a person, just not feeling fulfilled, not being inspired. And that's when it really started to just affect me and my mental well-being. But at the same time, I just didn't know exactly, I didn't know what route to take. And there were several times I would go online, like, they have all these tests on trying to figure out what it is that you're good at, your strengths and your all these things. And I would take so many of those things and it's like it still didn't help me figure anything out.
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, do I change companies and go to like a totally different field? And but what exactly will I do there? And it was just it's just so frustrating because I pick out all these things that read different job roles that read well, and I start doing all that, and I'm like, something was still missing.
Right.
Something was still missing. And I think it wasn't until I started much later into the program. I wouldn't say when I started, because when I started the program, I was still like, how is this going to help me? Like, I need you to tell me something that's going to help me figure out what I'm passionate about. This is not going to help me figure this out. And I think it wasn't until when I allowed myself to just do what the program was supposed to do and do the homework and just live was when I think I stopped chasing this, whatever this thing
Mm.
was, and like I think, like I mentioned to you, and realized that what I really needed, or what I was chasing for, was just the confidence in myself and for me, because I could do anything that I want to do. But
Well, you're
I
clear
just,
about that now. At the time,
yeah,
I'm not so sure it was the case.
no, definitely not.
Yeah. And
No.
it's so funny, if I can interrupt for just 1 second, because it's not like, Juliet, it's not like you were sitting back in life waiting for passion to land on you like the bluebird of happiness or something. It was like you were out there, you had a great career, what many people would say is like an awesome career, super successful, in a position of high esteem, and yet for you
Mhm.
there was something missing,
Yeah.
something almost like bankrupt about it. And
Yeah.
and you said, no, I want more. There's something more I'm meant to be living. And
Mhm.
you were in action about it. It's just, it was not the right action that was going to get you there. And yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny. You're right. You did start the program like, I don't know what this is going to do. This is not going to lead me to the finish line. I'm like, trust, keep doing
Yeah.
it. Go
Yeah.
one foot in front of the other here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like in
That's
the Karate
precisely
Kid, wax on, wax
that's
off.
off. Yep. No, I mean, precisely. That's precisely it. I just yeah, and it's so frustrating when you just feel, especially when you're surrounded by people that seemingly are doing things that they are so good at and love and enjoy, and then you just feel like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
You know, what's wrong with me? So yeah.
And it's so easy to go there.
Yeah.
If despite, if you're putting in all the work like you were doing,
Mhm.
working hard, dedicating, doing everything right, so to speak. And you were doing everything right, and yet you were still feeling this way.
Yeah.
Like something's missing. So the natural interpretation then is, well, therefore something's wrong here. Something's wrong with me, which couldn't be further from the truth, but you can't tell anybody that. You have to land there yourself. So then what happened?
Well, then I think once I allowed myself to just live, and I think I mentioned to you the only thing I remember that I enjoyed is just dancing. And so I, started taking all this. I did this one, and I signed up for private lessons, and I'm doing salsa and West Coast swing and all that. But again, when I got in there, I'm like, okay, so, is my heart now going to realize that dance is it? Like there should be some business in dance that you want to do? Like, and I was really waiting for some light bulb to like go off, and it didn't happen. I was like, yeah, I like dance, but I don't think I want to do anything with it. I enjoy it, and I think this is where it ends. And I think when I didn't find that in dance, because that was the only thing that I could say I'm passionate about. And when I didn't feel, when the light bulb didn't go off, I'm like, okay, you just have to let it go and just kind of just keep doing the program, keep doing the dance, and just let it go, And then I reconnected with an old friend, and we just started talking about just business ideas and all that. And it was someone that, since I've known her, I've always thought of doing something with her. And so we just started, and I had this concept of, starting up a company. I didn't know what exactly the company would be like, but I know exactly how I want the company run in terms of just like how I want it managed, how I want to treat the people that work for me. That was something that I'm very strong about and passionate about. And so that was the only thing that I knew, but I didn't know. So what kind of company would it be? And when we just started talking, and she brought up, she was thinking about, she's a hairstylist, but then she wanted to further her skills by getting certified as a trichologist, to study hair loss issues and scalp issues and all that, actually specifically hair loss issues. And so when she starts talking about it, and then I start talking about just like the management side of things and how I want to run a company and all that, it was like we just gelled and we just meshed. And, we were like, okay, we have to do this, and I had this excitement, and then that light bulb went off. And I'm like, oh my God, like, this is it. Yeah. And and I don't think, like I mentioned to you, I don't think it's so much that it has to be this thing, but I think that what's important to me is that I do own something, that I do run a company on some level. And what's important to me is how I treat the people that work for me.
Right. Like you said, that's something you're passionate about.
That's what I'm passionate about.
It's so interesting, Juliet. I wanted to highlight something that you said. You brought up, at the beginning of the program, you were like on this quest to find passion. Mm-hmm. And yet passion is this, it's kind of elusive, mm-hmm. Meaning one of the things I find in the past couple of decades of working with people to help them uncover what they're passionate about, mm-hmm. is that when we chase it, it runs.
Yeah.
And so when you're in this all-out sprint to find passion, the last thing you feel is passion. And really, it's a matter, I think what you found, it was a matter of removing everything that was in the way, mm-hmm. between you and the naturally innate passion that was there. Mm-hmm. Like you talked about actually just sort of letting it be, and then it naturally arose. And what's so cool that I'm hearing and what you're saying is, it's not, this company, great. This is something that you would like to do as a business, but you're not limited to this.
Yeah.
One of the things that I heard you say before is that you realize that passion is within you.
Yeah.
And then if that's the case, you could create a life of passion anywhere. Mm-hmm. So exquisite.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that one of the things, how has all this shifted your own relationship to yourself and your own level of confidence?
Oh my God. I mean, you know, I think there's definitely a level of confidence that I have now that I never ever had. And I still feel myself struggling with it because it's not something that I'm used to. But at the same time, I'm getting there. It's I think now I someone asked me because a lot of people knew that I had taken time off work and I'm on leave of absence. And I think when people ask, so what are you going to do? Are you going to go back? Like, I would be so hesitant to even say like, oh, I'm working on a company or whatever. I would just downplay it or just because I just did not have the confidence to even talk about it. But now I find myself talking about it. And like I said, when I talk about it, now I would like for my hair clinic or scalp clinic to happen. But there isn't this pressure that I'm putting on myself where it has to happen. What's important to me is that at some point that I create something. So whether it's that or something else, it'll happen. And I'm now confident with myself in saying that and knowing that. And so, when I say to people, yeah, I'm working on this thing, I'm very comfortable saying it versus before I would never,
Right.
I would just be like, oh, it's just, I don't know, just kind of, I'm just thinking about something, or because I was just no confidence at all.
Yeah, deflect. Make sure no one asks you questions.
Exactly.
And I think it's human nature to have lapses in confidence or doubt certain things in new areas or areas that we're not familiar with. But what I hear you saying, Juliet, is that even though those concerns come up, you're not allowing them to stop you any longer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm having several conversations in my head now where I go, I guess survival brain, right? Or whatever it is, talking and says to me like, okay, well, are you going to say something that's going to make you sound stupid? And I say to myself, okay, and what? So what if you say something stupid? What's going to happen? And it's like, well, say it anyway. And so I'm now having all those conversations in my brain, or where, I ask myself the question, I'm like, okay, so you're doing this. So are you operating in your best self or or in survival mode? Like which one is it? Like,
right.
And so I'm having those conversations like now, with myself. It's a lot of self-awareness in ways that I never had before. So
right.
Yeah.
It's, one of the things that you had talked about when we very first talked, you and I hopped on the phone and started looking at what wasn't working, what would it be like if it continued down the same exact path, and what could life look like? And you had talked about that life could look the same because you're like, I have a life that from the outside, people say, oh, this is this dream life, but I want to experience that. And so how have you changed in terms of you experiencing the life that is yours?
Well, I think that I'm still, it's still, there is just this happiness and confidence that I say that because it was such a part that was never there before. And so for me now, I think the quest to figure out that I'm not chasing anything. I'm taking my time and I'm working on things, and I have this just natural happiness and peace and calm that's now in me as I try to design my life the way I want it to be now. So I think it's still in progress, but but I'm happy. I really am. And I'm very appreciative of my life. I think that, yeah, from the outside, it's people would say, oh yeah, you have a supportive family, you have a supportive husband and all that stuff. And yeah, I think back then it was so hard for me to see it because I was unhappy. I was unhappy. I looked at this person that I felt was just his life, as far as I'm concerned, his life was just going the direction that he wanted to go into, and mine just wasn't. And so, I was unhappy. And so it didn't matter that, yeah, at the end of the day, I do have a good family, and he was kind and everything, and is kind and all that stuff, but I was unhappy.
Yeah.
I was unhappy. And now I'm just, I'm happy because I know something is going to happen, versus before where I never felt, I didn't know. I'm like, there was this fear of like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Like, where am I going to go? I don't know what I want to do. And,
Right.
you're just so frustrated. And so now I don't have that anymore. That I don't have. Now I know something is going to happen. Something good is going to happen, and I'm taking my time and educating myself. And so, but I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd said something. I'd like to share something you said on that very first call.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
You said, I don't know what's next. I don't know what to do. And I spend my time crying because I don't know my direction. I don't want to be miserable for the rest of my life,
Mm-hmm.
suffering in silence.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so amazing what you said. You said, if I could solve that and really find my direction, my soul would be happier.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing would necessarily change. I would be comfortable with myself, happy and confident.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as my soul is happy and I know what my purpose is, all would be well.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like you just accomplished every ounce of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I didn't think it would happen like this at all. Before I signed up with to the program, I had looked into franchising different companies. I looked into, oh my God, a Chick-fil-A and just a whole bunch of different things. And it's like, once I start reading up things, I'm like, will this really make me happy? Or am I just doing it because it just seems like the smart thing to do? And it could, and I don't have that anymore. I don't have that anymore. I'm very confident in just staying true to what I want for myself, which is I will own a company, period.
Yeah.
I don't care what the company will be about, but it has to be a company where people are treated with just a level of respect and just compassion, and and that's what's important to me. And so I'm, yeah.
So when we very first spoke, and when you and I hopped on the phone, you talked about that conundrum of, if I don't know where I'm going, how can I get there? What would you say to other people who were stuck in that same sort of place, not clear where they're going, and yet they know that where they are is not the right place?
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to them?
I think just do the homework, follow the program. I mean, if you're assigned, the only thing that because the only thing that helped me was the program. So for me would be definitely to sign up for the program and do the homework, and just be open, be patient with yourself, and just allow yourself.
But do you think, is it possible for people, or are you a unique case? Sometimes people think like, oh, the people who are really able to change their lives, they've got some special gene that I don't have.
Yeah, I felt that way too. I felt like when we talked and you said, I can give you the tools and I kept on thinking to myself, oh, I don't know if I said it out loud. I was like, I don't know how you think you can help me. Because I just kind of felt like she has not dealt with anyone like me before. I'm a special case. Like, I'm not sure what she could possibly do to, help me figure it out. So, you know, so, I just thought that, I really thought
You're
that
like,
I was,
I dare you to fix me.
yeah, seriously, I'm like, let's see what she's going to do, because I don't know what she's going to do. I've taken so many, whatever things that you take to figure out what you like and don't like and find your passion and all this craziness that has never worked. And so I'm like, how is she going to figure it out? All right, fine. Let's do this. So I think that no, you don't have to be some special person. I think you just you go in and you do what you're supposed to do. And I think it'll come to you, because I know it's changed my life just in so many different aspects. So it's not just, of course, the main reason was to find my passion, but it just opened my eyes to so many other aspects of my life. So yeah.
Juliet, so good to be with you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I know that there are people who are in a similar situation and know that where they are right now today is not the right place for them, but they don't know how to get to the place that's the right place. And they think that it's not possible for them. Or like you said, I'm a special case. This is going to be hard. You're not going to be able to do this, but it is possible for people.
It is possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's absolutely possible.
Yeah.
And there's, I want to invite you, if that's you, if you feel like where I am right now is not the right place, but I know there is a right place, I want you to hop on the phone with me or a member of my team. And I'm going to give you the way to hop on the phone and schedule a call with us. I'm going to try to make this work. Hold on. There we go. CherylHunter.com/schedule. And you can get on with me or a member of my team. We'll just like that conversation I had with Juliet, where we'll spend, I don't know, hour and a half, and we'll get really to the heart of what's not working. And we'll look at where you want to go, like the exact conversation I just mapped out with Juliet. And then if there's something we can help you with, then we'll most definitely let you know. If we can shortcut your learning curve and help you get there, we'll let you know. So that's a call that we can do with you. It's free. You just book it there. There's obviously a limited number of calls that the three of us can take on, or the four of us can take on. So go there now, CherylHunter.com/schedule to book your call. Juliet, it's so great to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I look forward to watching you succeed and succeed and succeed. And can't wait to talk to you again.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.